Hi and welcome to Aquatic Mike. Today I'm bringing you another fry development video, this time of Aspidoras raimundi red. They were, or they're sometimes called Aspidoras C125 red. I guess it's more common, or you see them called that more often than raimundi red. Up here we've got some footage from when the fries are 6 days old, and here they've eaten some decapsulated artemia, or deshelled brine shrimp. They're currently in a 40-liter tank. We'll see footage from 2 tanks throughout this video. I first bred them in 2023. Here we've got them at 7 days old. The first footage was from a 40-liter tank filtered by a large sponge filter, and here we've got another batch of them in a 10-liter tank. Here they've been fed commercial food, if I recall right. There's a cleanup crew of some ram's horn snails in both of the tanks. Here we've got them at 14 days old. They're slightly larger. However, you can't or you don't see that as easily. They're in the 40-liter tank now. The 10-liter tank was filtered by a double sponge filter, and here we've got the large sponge filter. And there's, well, some ram's horn snails, and other than that there's nothing really in the tank, just a bunch of fry. And I did not take measurements of the fries throughout their development at all, since I raised some regular raimundi, or like the non-red color variant, previously. I think I might have had a few measurements there, or maybe none, because it was even longer since I first bred those. But yeah, they're slowly growing out here. Aspidoras is a lineage 2 fish. All Aspidoras is lineage 2. And Aspi means shield and Dora means skin. So shield skin, I guess, if you translate the Latin. Their name's derived from that anyway. I think they've now been fed some commercial food here again. And these are quite active. However, I find the non-red variant to be more active, especially the adults. Although it could come down to how many fish you put inside one tank, I suppose. I haven't tried keeping a few hundred of the red ones in a 222-liter tank, as I did with the non-red variant. Here we got the fry at 1 month, still in that 40-liter tank with a large sponge filter, but now you can tell what they're becoming. They're already resembling their parents very well. I think they've been fed with commercial foods here too, blended some own mix at home. This I call them raimundi, as Rob McClure revised the Aspidoras genus a while back, and I'm sure he had some other people helping him, possibly, but he said Stephen Grant in my previous video, but I tried to correct that, but it's Rob McClure. Anyway, they've been revised, and they concluded that menezesi, spilotus C119 and C125 is the same species as raimundi, and they're now all called raimundi. But yeah, they're in here still with some ram's horn snails, so I can overfeed slightly and won't be a problem growing. They put down medium-sized eggs, about 1.5 millimeters, give or take. Could come down to the age of the females, I guess. Slightly larger, slightly smaller. They prefer to put their eggs at high flow zones in the aquarium. So I would suggest, if you've got uplift tubes on sponge filters, like the sponge filter in this tank, the adults may swim down the uplift tube and get stuck between the hose and the plastic of the tube or pipe, and I suggest that you may cover that up with some netting or something. It's the same thing with pipes through Hamburg Matten filters. If you use that, they'll swim up in those tubes and down on the other side of the Matten filter as well, and sometimes they'll even swim up and put their eggs in the uplift tube. This is well, I have Raimundi and the regular one and this red variant, and I have Poecilus, and I have Fuscogotatus as well. I think the regular Raimundi is the most active, and these are quite active as well, but I don't know whether if I would rank them above or below, like for example Poecilus or so, but you'll see the adults at the end of the video darting around a little, but not as some of the adults of the regular variant, or like just Raimundi. This is the only red variant that I've come across. I'm not sure, I don't know that there's a red variant of the other species. There's albinism, which is the lack of melanins, and when the entire fish turns, well, similar to white, and they've normally got red eyes, so they lack melanin in there as well. And then there's melanism, when they've got more melanin, and that means they're normally darker, very dark. And there's leucism, where they lack melanin and across the body, but most of the time their eyes are normally colored, and they may also have a few patches that are normally colored here and there across the fish. And there's xanthism, which is yellow coloration when the melanophores are defective and the xanthophores shine through, where the melanophores otherwise would have made them a bit darker. And then there's erythrism, which is a genetic mutation caused by an overproduction of red and orange pigments, and the reduction of normal or dark pigments or melanin. And this is erythrism, and this is what this fish has. And they're currently here 2 months in the 4-liter tank, very similar to the adults still, and they're about to get moved around about this time. Aspidoras raimundi originate from Brazil, from Rio Paranaíba. Aspidoras raimundi, the regular variant, I've got clips of both them, Poecilus and Fuscogotatus, so you can see the difference in patterning between the species. Obviously this is a one-off, since they're all red, but in regular raimundi they've got a line along the lateral line, sometimes unbroken and sometimes slightly broken, and often very broken on subadults or like juvenile fish or so. Poecilus often has a dark blotch in their dorsal fin, slightly dark blotch, or like an area where there's a bit dark at least. And Fusco guttatus looks a bit different morphologically, and also their patterning along the lateral line and across the rest of the fish is slightly different. They're also not as active, but we've got the adult fish coming here now, and here they are. It's a simple setup as well. Quite a few Malaysian trumpet snails. At the time of the footage, there's a large Aspidoras plant and a few smaller ones in the back, and it's filtered by a Hamburg Matten filter one side, and the other side it's just divided by a similar, or it's like there's an Hamburg Matten filter on each side, although there's only one of them that has a ran through pipe, just to divide the tank to keep another species on the other side. There's also a tube in there, ceramic, and some mangrovey root and whatnot. But here you can see the adult fish. There's a couple of males, and the females are broader. You can probably see that there's here's two males, or at least one male in the front. The other one might be a female actually. Yeah, the other one's a female. So the males are more slender and the females are a bit bulkier, like the one closest to us now. But there's a group of around about 18 or something in there. It's also spawning mop and whatnot in there. I guess that's all that I had for this species, so thank you all for watching, and please like, subscribe, share and comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.